Hi, I'm Raquel, and this is Law Librarian Plans. Today, I am talking about the fourth step in our planner setup series, the second S, which is for setup. And if you want to see the rest of my videos, I will link them here. They are also in a playlist called SEISE. So let's get started. So the process is to select, evaluate, invest, set up, and enjoy. So we're going to talk about setup today. I'm quickly going to show you the other slides here, but we're going to move right into the setup place. So the first thing you want to talk about, you want to deal with when we're talking about setup is your cover. And I say covers because there are multiple types of covers out there. If you're a discount planner like me, you usually have a choice between a snap-in cover and a wrap cover. So a snap-in cover snaps on the discs. The discs are exposed. As a wraparound cover covers your discs, usually has a tab to keep it closed. They both have their benefits and their cons, their pros and cons. But this is not the video for that. I tend to choose wrap covers for things that are going to stay home because they're bulkier, and I use snap-in covers for things that are going to travel. If you're a discount planner, you may want to change the discs that came with your planner for various reasons. They might not be your favorite color that matches the cover. You may prefer metal to plastic, etc., etc. So for me, um, discs are involved in my Franken planner since I tend to mix things, and for my individual planner, which is my work planner, my reference book, etc. Next, we're going to set up your name. Write your name on your planner one way or another. If your handwriting is beautiful or you can letter, go ahead and do that. If you don't love your handwriting and you don't want to pay for anything extra, perhaps you have some alphabet letters in your stash that you can use and put your name on that title page. You can also, if you have a Cricut or a Silhouette, you could make a name decal. I've actually converted my signature into an SVG file that can be cut by my Cricut. I don't always use it. I also have some name decals that I use. My lettering is not great. So if you're Franken planning, you may need some dividers to divide up the sections of your planner. Again, this is more of a discount thing, but you can actually punch things for other types of formats. There are punches out there that do not just rings, but also spiral, wire, etc. So you're gonna set up your add-ons, add them to your planner, make sure that you put them in the right position there. Then, if you're reusing a planner or if you have an undated planner, you need to think about whether you're going to predate or redate your planner from the get-go. You could predate the whole year, or you could decide to do little bits and pieces of it, or redating, of course. And lastly, you need to think about whether you're going to pre-plan anything. So the last few days of the year tend to be very busy for people, and you may have other plans for things you want to get done those days. So perhaps you want to pre-plan what your layouts are going to be, what you're going to use for that first week of the year, etc. I know when I am setting up for a new month, I am setting up so many different spreads at the same time. It's a little bit overwhelming. Add the holidays to that, that can be a little bit much. And I will talk about pre-planning in a future video, how I do my pre-planning for my planners. So stick around for that as well. Now I'm going to switch to my overhead camera to show you my setup plan and do some actual setup of my planners. All right, now we have switched to our overhead view. As you can see here, I actually have set up checklists for my planners and Franken planners. If I didn't do this, I would forget exactly what I was intending to do with the organization. So if you recall, I had done in a previous video, I had evaluated my planners and decided what I wanted and what I didn't want. I figured out which tabs I wanted. I figured out the missing piece. So with that, I actually then started setting up the Franken planner. Right now, it doesn't have any contents, but it has the basic sort of skeleton. So here we have it. So the first thing is a protective cover, and I'm using this Maxi Life cover that a friend gifted me. Um, and then the laminated cover. And I put that there just because I want to make sure that I remember, do I want to do something with it? So right now, this is a temporary cover that I have here, because I have a Jane's Agenda monthly subscription for January, or monthly subscription. And it usually, it always, my subscription comes with a clear cover, with dashboards that go behind the clear covers, sometimes vellums, etc., etc. This is not the place for a Jane's Agenda ad, but I just want to tell you what's coming. So right now I have the disc that I think will match the January subscription, and I do change the discs as needed. And then I have my clear cover, so I have a protective cover. And let's actually mark this off because these are the things that are done. Um, the protective cover I have, this is coming. Then after that, I have my cyclic calendar. And this is a cyclic calendar that Joshi Koren offers for free on her website. I printed it and then mounted it on a classic size sheet. I also highlighted where are the reset weeks. Again, this is not a video about planning so much as it is setting up a planner, but I've already set that up for next year, so it's ready to go. Then I have my tabs. So notice here that I need 7 top tabs and 9 bottom tabs and tab labels. I'm going to show you how to set these up in a minute. I'll show you some of the options that I have, but that was the next thing I needed to do here. So I set up my tabs, and that's as far as I got here. So I have my top tabs, and they're in the order that the planners are going to be here. So this plan section, as you recall, is the year at a glance, some monthlies, some dividers, dividers to cover the monthly. So like a floral divider that covers January or February, etc. Then a bottom tab for the inbox, right? This is the bottom tab right here. And then the question is, should I predate those monthlies? And I answer the question, yes, I'm going to predate the full year. And that makes perfect sense there. All right, I'm going to go through this because it explains a lot of what I talked about in the video. So then the next one, I'm going to put a name decal. I want to label the month tabs, and I'm going to show you why I'm saying that. So I'm going to pull out my goals planner. My goals planner is an undated planner. So I have to remember to do that. So I want to make sure that I do that and have it ready. Then the next question is, do I want to predate? And the answer is yes, I want to predate the first 3 months because I want this to last me through the whole first cycle. And then during reset week, I will predate for the next 3 months, etc. I also want to set up my weekly actions for weeks 1 through 12, my monthly goals, and my monthly reflections for the first 3 months. Again, to carry me all the way to the end of the first quarter and to reset week. And these are pieces from the Maxi Life system. So these are sticker sets, and perhaps I can show you what I mean by that if I pull up my current Franken planner. So this is actually not completely set up yet, but it's partially set up for the month of December. So I'm going to go here to December and show you what I mean by that. So, oops. Oh, it's a sticky note. So these are the weekly actions, and these are the weekly reflections. So these are pages that I can preset up, and I have the week numbers. I have week numbers for next year. I also have the week dates, which I'll make sure. I wanted the numbers to match up with the cyclic calendar. So then set up that. And then this one is a poor example because I ran out of the monthly pieces. So I actually wrote them down. So there's a monthly goals page, and then there's a monthly reflection. This is not what it's going to look like, but just to give you an idea. So my goal is to set up all of those pages for the month of January, February, and March so that I can move through Q1, first quarter of the year, very easily. Then a reset week Q1, this is going to be just a page with some notes. Then the goal assessment pages, the goal setting pages, and a bottom tab for Q1 and a long-term bottom tab. So that's what that setup is involved. For my catch-all, now you see the same thing, the name decal, label the month tabs, and then predate. This says pencil the first of the month, January through March. So the reason why I'm going to pencil only the first of the month is because it will make it quicker for me to set it up when I'm getting my monthly ready. And I may want to decoratively date. So I might want to have colors that match whatever stickers I choose for that month. And therefore, I don't want something permanent that then I would have to maybe move. So if I pencil the first of the month, then I can quickly set it up when it's time to set up that planner. Next up, we have the journal diary, and the journal diary are named account, month tabs, etc. Then I have a journal, and let me make sure that you can actually see that. Yes. So I have an A5 journal that I'm adding to my system. And for that, I want to add the title page, the name decal, maybe, maybe not, and then month tabs. I'm going to make this a 6-month journal. So I went and, with the help of ChatGPT, figured out where my tabs are so that I have enough pages for every month. And I'm going to have some leftover pages at the end, but that's fine. I'd rather have that, maybe do a recap or something like that. But this allows me to have a 1-page intro page, and then, or is it a 2-page? Oh, a 2-page intro page, and then enough pages, 1 page per day to write for the month, etc., etc. Next, we have the social, and again, we have the name decal. And here, I'm using what was originally a July through June planner, but I wanted to use it this year. So the currently page says July. I have to change it to January. That's what that means. And then da 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 da. And then the reference notebook. And I'll show you that because I have that ready. So, or mostly ready. So, yeah, here we have the protective cover. We have the laminated or other covers. This is a Jane's Agenda cover and dashboard from a previous box. And then I have my tabs. I'm using side tabs here because I had them. I didn't need to buy new tabs, and these were not being used. So I thought this would be a perfect place to use them. A little scratch or something. They're not in perfect shape anymore, and that's okay by me. I don't need perfection, although I would like that. There we go. So for those clear tabs, I already labeled them, and I found I was looking for cover pages for my fitness planner, which I'll show you when I set that one up and do the first layout of the year. Um, and the seller that had the covers that I use for my fitness planner to cover the monthly tabs also had this set of assorted ones, and I just bought them because they were very inexpensive, and it looks so beautiful there. So you can see I have all my sections. I have to move these tabs. I don't want those here. I'm gonna probably make them bottom tabs, so I have to redo them because they're not gonna work. And in fact, they might just be a little bit too big, so we'll figure that out. But you can see here I have everything moved in here, and this one is almost ready to go except for the 2026 calendar, which I need to grab from another planner. All right, so that is my reference notebook, and that was my guts for, or rather my skeleton. I keep saying guts, but it's not the guts, it's the skeleton for my Franken planner. All right, and I'll show you the rest of the setup when I start doing January videos. All right, so now we're gonna do my setup for my home Franken planner. And you can see here I have my list. So I'm gonna find where I put the pile of stuff that goes with that, and I see it. Because I'm gonna be showing you how I set it up, I'm gonna remove this from the screen, but I will actually read you the different sections and so forth. So my home Franken planner is in use, and so I'm not gonna take it apart, only to the extent that perhaps I'm gonna add some tabs and so forth. But we have our protective cover, another Jane's Agenda wrap, or a Jane's Agenda wrap. I also use this because I keep metal things in here and I didn't want to scratch my actual cover. This cover is from a family planner from Hell of a Plan. And I really liked it so much. The guts didn't work for me, but I love the covers. I love animal print. So I thought this was great for my home planner. At some point, I might change it to something else. In the pockets here, I have some additional stickers and so forth. I'm going to remove some that are part of the setup plan, but I keep some things here that I use all the time. These are for my budget planner and some more other things. This was a calendar that I was using for cleaning. Didn't work so great, but anyway. Now, because it's much easier to work with this outside of the cover, when you're setting up, I'm removing it from the cover and setting aside my cover. All right, so it says 5 top tabs, from Kelva Plan, 7 bottom tabs, and 6 budget tabs. And I'll explain what I mean by that. All right. So it has my title page. I didn't put name. I said name page. I already had the name page set up. So I'm going to check these off because I want to make sure that I'm paying attention. I said I want a 2026 calendar. I don't think, or is this the one that does have a 2026 calendar? I think this might have it. So here we have a one with us the last time. I'm going to start using this next year. This is a vellum from Jane's Agenda, which I think is fabulous because this is all things home. Um, and then the title page from Jane's Agenda. And the reason I'm keeping that is because it has the calendar, 2025 calendar. So I'm using that. I was using the year at a glance to track my PTO. And I had my monthly. This is actually going away. I ended up moving away from this. I used it for 10 months and it was great to give me 9 months to give me really good clarity about my planning. And it's no longer being used. And so we're going to remove it. To be honest, I did not buy this. This was sent to me by mistake. And as you can see, October was the last month. Um, and it's really very nice and the paper is amazing. It just didn't work for me. It might work for you. This month at a glance here in one page is fantastic, but basically I was transferring everything multiple times, so it didn't make any sense. All right, so I'm going to take out the rest of this. This had a future dates page. I ended up not creating one this year. I decided I don't really need one. So I'm going to take out all of these pages and I'm going to set them aside. All right, so the way this is organized, I'm going to actually do the tabs because I realized that I'm showing you guts, but I don't have my tabs ready. So let's talk about tabs. All right, and I hope I have all the pieces here. So I have some tabs, I have some more tabs, and my budget tabs are coming from somewhere else. So we're gonna do those at the very, very end. All right, so tabs. I buy my tabs, most of my tabs from Live Love Posh. Her tabs are very thin, super thin. And if you looked at my Franken planner, I'm going to show you because that has them. My Franken planner has them. They're very, very thin. So they don't add bulk, which I really like. And that's especially important with this, where I have like 6 planners in one, or however many. I don't even know how many planners I have here. I have one, two, three, four, five planners plus extra pages. So it's very important for that one. For this one, it wasn't that important, and frankly, I ran out of tabs. But I only really need 5 tabs total for this one. So I thought, hey, I have a hell of a plan, top tab set, so I can start setting this up now. So let me open that up. And sorry, not ASMR. I wanted to show you what it looked like. I don't know if they're in stock on her website, but anyway, now the Kelva Plan tabs come with tab labels. Usually, most manufacturers, or some manufacturers that make top tabs, if they're super cheap, they probably don't come with labels. But these come with labels, and the Live Love Posh ones come with labels. They are bigger labels and smaller labels. So these are the bigger labels, um, and these are the smaller labels. And which one comes with what? The smaller labels come with the side tabs because the side tabs are smaller. The bigger labels come with the top tabs. And frankly, I think I don't even know why I ended up using the smaller ones, but I tend to like the smaller ones here, so that's what I used. Um, but with these very large tabs, I think these are going to work out really, really well. So I'm going to go ahead and place them. And I will tell you that I have struggled with this one. This one has been a challenging setup for me because I also had some additional tabs, which you can see here on the side. Um, excuse me. And also the order. I've like sort of been thinking, what's the right order for things here? So what I've decided is I'm actually going to split out home and cleaning. So cleaning out from home. So anyway, so here's the set. And I decided that I wanted to put my budget section first. So we're going to actually label this. Um, and these labels are great. I have so many sets because I use the bottom tabs all the time. I use tabs all the time. And of course, every set comes with its own set. So every set of tabs comes with its own set of labels. So that's budget, then meal plan. And for meal plan, I'm going to use this gorgeous meal planning tab that came in a set of, I think it was three. It was a meal planning, a fitness, and a cleaning. Um, and I thought they're just too cute for words and I should use them. All right, so meal plan. Then next we're going to do home. So home, I know it's here. Okay. And the reason I chose these and not the ones that came with a set of tabs is that there there was no projects label in the other set, and I wanted to have a projects label. So this is home. That's not right. Meal plan. Oh wait, because I skipped the second. Remember, I skipped the second to use the meal plan, and now this is home. So I actually recorded a video of me trying to set up my Franken planner, and it was a disaster. So we're lucky this is working out okay. All right, so there, and some of them are clear, some of them are not. Again, not a big deal for me. Then the next one is going to be cleaning, so I'm going to move this one aside, and I'm going to bring in this one. Actually, these are the same. What am I saying that? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Just, pretend I didn't say that last sentence about them being different. It felt different. It's because they have a different texture on the back. All right, so then here's a cleaning one. And in the home one, I'm going to put checklists and things like that. And then cleaning, I haven't decided if I'm going to do cleaning or cleaning and decluttering. I haven't decided which one goes where. I think of this as pure cleaning, but decluttering is a little bit like cleaning. So then the next tab is going to be projects. And I have exactly the right number of tabs. Projects. Sorry if I shook the camera. In fact, I know I shook the camera. Projects. I'm going to set this up because I'm going to move the guts around and stuff like that in this Franken planner. And the last one is going to be lists. And then later on, I'm going to add the budget tabs. Those are going to go in the back of this setup. Okay, lists. I hope that Keleva plan brings these back if she doesn't have them anymore, because they are very, very handy. I like having different kinds of tabs for my planners, for my Franken planners. All right, so we have all of our tabs here now. All right, so next up, we're going to really set this up. So we're going to start by taking, this is actually, I already moved some things around, so I cheated a little bit, if you will. So this is actually affirmations of wealth, and those are going to go with budget. So I want to say that there's a decorative thing that goes behind this, but if I can't find one, I will make one. So I'm looking for those dashboards that I showed you, printable dashboards that I bought, and I could have sworn that I had a set of them for home, but of course now I can't find them. So bear with me for one sec because they cannot be very far since I had them together here. Okay, that one says brain dump. That doesn't go in there. This goes in my other planner. I don't know what I do with them. This is really very sad that I've already lost something and haven't even gotten that far yet. So I'll try to find them before we're done so that, oh, I found them. They were on the floor because I have pieces of things on the floor. All right, let me see if I have a home dashboard. I have a projects dashboard. And I have, oh, finances. Perfect. I knew it. So this one is going to be the decorative dashboard that goes before that, because I think it looks better than going straight into that text. And I have to decide, I might clip these. The glass ones I don't want to clip because they will get scratched, but these have a textured surface, so it's much less important. So now we have budget. And then next up on my checklist, we have wealth affirmations. Okay. Then there's a budget vision board that I don't have with me right now. So I'm going to check off things on my list. I said reference tab. I wonder what that means. Oh, the reference tab for budget. Okay. Wealth affirmations. This I'm going to wait because I don't have it. I don't have this. So see how it's emerging as what is happening. Monthly budget. All right. So the monthly budget, and there's also a checklist, a financial wellness checklist that I'm gonna leave here because I'm gonna use that with my money day um, when I do money day. So this is perfect. So and then we have the monthly budget, which is this setup here. And I'm not gonna show you my budget because that's active. Actually, I can show you my budget because there's not much there. So this is the weekly page. I have to enter transactions from the rest of the week, but this is what I use. I have this here to remind me to not spend too much money. And then at the end, I have some extra pages which I forgot to mention. So I'm going to have to actually add that. See, I should have checked this before I started because I found problems. So let's see, that's not a pen that works. I have a lot of pens, but some of them are gel pens with their caps. So here I'm going to add FSA tracker because I'm going to need a new one for next year. Actually, I won't need one right away. That's right, because we changed the way our fiscal year works. So I'm going to put here July. Am I writing on a tab? No. Oh, this pen is terrible. I'm going to write FSA tracker. So I'll make sure to make one and put it after July in my budget planner so that I can bring it in here. So then categories reference. And the categories reference at the end. I'm debating whether I don't know if I said I was going to have a tab for this or not. Um, but this is like some things that I can't remember which categories they go in. So I made myself a little reference sheet for that. All right. So that is budget. The next tab is meal plans. And for meal plans, I have the process. And I don't think there's a thing. So what I'll probably end up doing for these that don't have a dashboard. And frankly, a dashboard will look kind of weird behind that because this is already patterned. So I will find a cardstock. I have white cardstock in my stash. I'll probably just put a sheet of white cardstock behind it, or maybe a colored cardstock. I don't know, but just something to cover it because again, I don't want the dashboard sort of covering the text. And then so we have process is in there. The reference pages are in there. And again, this is a living Franken planner, so I'm not going to show you my meal plan, but suffice it to say that it's there. All right. So next, I was tracking my spend. Ha ha ha. That was a funny one. That was blown to bits. The next one is home. And home has its own beautiful dashboard. I'm not taking that apart. I'm just going to leave that there. Although that might go with, no, that goes there. That's perfectly fine there. Actually, I had a dashboard for that. Oh, it's right here. So this is where I'm struggling because now I'm thinking, do I want to have this? Do I want to have something else? And maybe what I will do, love that. I love that so much. So I'm going to think about that one because that one is sort of, I am a little bit torn. So we have the daily gratitude for your home. I think this is great. I'm going to leave that there. And then my cleaning checklist that I stopped updating. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with this. This is also about cleaning and then resetting your home. I think I'm going to move cleaning out of here. And I'm going to leave resetting and the checklist because I do have some checklists that I have to print. And I wrote them down on my list as things I have to do. So to the home reset. Yeah, the home reset, the decluttering reference. These two decluttering things are going to stay there. And then this is a whole big workbook. Okay, that ends there. Then we're going to do the cleaning tab. And the cleaning tab is going to have the new version of the schedule. Let me see, what does it say here? Oh, that's the home one. Oh, I love that so much. I love that so much. Let me see. what it looks like behind that cleaning one, even though that's not the home section. I do know that. So no, I don't love it there. So there's some thinking to be done here. All right, so I'm going to move this one out, and I'm going to put that home, it says home maintenance, but it's really a cleaning kind of checklist. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put the cleaning reference here, and I have some other reference materials about cleaning that I have to bring in. So or that I might bring in. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so cleaning. Next, we have projects. So projects, let's take the projects tab and add that here. And a lot of this I'm going to be setting up after the new year, so I don't really have like the new pages for this, but I have, I want to make sure that this is set up. All right, so we have a projects tab, and I love the fact that this, I might go into Canva and try to make something like this. The problem is I won't be able to match the font necessarily unless I can use a font finder to do that. And then that's the home projects with project sheets. This is going to go into lists. Yeah, that's going to stay there. And then the last section is lists, and that's going to need a divider as well. So there's a little bit of thinking involved here that I have to do after the fact, but it will be set up before the new year starts. All right, so then this is the list tab. And then the last section is the budget reference. And that's the one that I struggled trying to decide if I wanted it here. And I decided, yes, I want it here. These are extra pages, which frankly, I don't think I can keep in here. And I don't think I need them in here. So I'm going to remove those extra pages. I'm redoing my pantry inventory. That's one of my little projects for my break. So all these pages are going to go somewhere else on the side. And now we're going to do the budget reference. So budget reference, where did I put budget reference? Budget reference is in my current budget planner, which is on the floor. Oh, I have some additional things. I forgot. So I have some, oh, look, I have some white sheets here. All right. So some of this is for my budget planner. I'm going to put this aside for a sec. But this goes under meal planning. It's a reference for macronutrients. So let's find that meal plan tab. Okay. And we're going to put this reference in here. There's a random heart there. I might redo this, although this is a really very good process that I made for myself. This is the meal builder and cooking guidelines. And then you see that it goes right into my meal plan. So what I'll end up doing is I'll end up putting a white page here to cover that. And then these will be moved out. So, but for now, this is going to go up in here. It doesn't go in there. It's going to go right after process. Nutrients are more important than building a balanced meal. Not just kidding. This is a macronutrient list and so forth. All right. And then what I'm using for my meal planning for next year is the Keleva Plan meal planner sheets, which consists of 12 pages of a monthly meal planner and then 52 weeks. The weeks are single-sided. So what I mean by that, actually the weeks and the months. So I will show you because it might not make sense if I explain it, but if I show you, it makes sense. So this is what the pack looks like, and I just destroyed the packaging. That's okay. And so the monthly meal plan has a monthly calendar and then a grocery shopping list. Now, I'm not going to use I'm terrible about using the grocery shopping list. So what I'm probably going to do here is in the January one, I'm going to make a reference for the whole year of like the basics that we always have in our house. And then, so we have 12 of those. And then you have, they're still going because the paper is so thick, the weekly meal planner. And the weekly meal planner also undated, and that's perfectly fine by me. And again, it has the list here. I I don't really do that, but I might make some notes. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I feel bad because this is such great paper and I feel bad using only one side of it, but that might end up being the thing that actually happens. All right, so let's put that pack back into its packaging, and that's not going to happen. So let's set that up aside. over here. I'm making a huge mess on my other desk. All right. So we have, we're going to do the budget reference. So we're going to add the budget reference in the end, and then we're going to set up some other pages. So for the budget reference, which I'm calling it reference, but I don't have, because I need a better title. It's all these tabs that are related to the budget that I actually need to look at, but I haven't been looking at because they were in my budget planner that I only take out from the shelf to put pages, take pages out, put pages in. So I decided that for next year, my budget reference is going to all go into my home Franken planner, where it actually stands a chance of being looked at. And when I need it, I don't have to go to the other planner. I've needed it a couple times. So I am just taking out all these pages since I'm setting it up for next year. Sorry, it's a little bit noisy. And I'll explain all of these things in a future video. So it says budget reference, but what I mean is all of these pages. So budget reference is actually these pages here. This is going to stay in the back of my current planner, and this is my $5 savings. I have to update this because I did a withdrawal from there, but I saved $500, $5 at a time, and that was really pretty great. All right, so now that I've removed those tabs, we're going to put them back in here, and budget is going to be used for like a reference on the budget categories, the major budget categories. So I'll show you what I had before, if I can find it in the pile that now is unsolvable, unfixable, and all that. Okay. So this was the one that I used when I had a Happy Planner budget planner. So what I'll probably end up doing is I'll make a photocopy. This is a photocopy of the page. I'll make a photocopy of the blank budget page for hell of a plan and set up the categories. I like this in some ways, but I didn't love the tracking pages because I love the fact that the categories didn't tell me where anything goes. It was just major categories. Hell of a plan doesn't have any categories at all, which is actually very helpful. She has bills or fixed expenses, variable expenses, income, and then the balance sheet and debt. So that's how her monthly setup is done. And at some point, I will show you that budget planner when I set it up for a month. But today, we're going to keep going. Now, this is a budget plan for an event or a trip or something like that. So this is a budget plan to prepare for something as opposed to your monthly budget plan. So for example, here you could say vacation and you can say travel. So this could be airline tickets, car rental or Lyft or something like that. Then the next category could be entertainment, and you can put the category. So that's how that works. And I like it very much. I'm going to try to use it I might use it for CPC next year. I might not because I like to make my own, but it's nice to have these pages. Next, we have bills. And for bills, what I'm going to put here is my reference of my monthly bills and when they're due, as well as those annual bills and so forth. So then I have debt tracker, and you can see that I didn't use this one very much at all. My debt is very limited. I actually only have, in fact, this page doesn't go here, but I'm going to put here. I have a new page for next year. It's my mortgage and my student loans. Then a savings tracker. So I'm going to put the savings trackers here. And I thought about moving these around, but it doesn't really matter where these are as long as I can find them. Money day. So this is quarterly. I spend hours. It's not a whole day. Where I look at my finances and try to figure out how to, improve things. So I have money days quarterly, and then once a year, there's certain things I do in different quarters. So I have it written here in my reference. Then trackers. And this is, I don't know what I want to put in trackers. I had something, and now I remember what it is. And then budget reference. And for that, I'm going to need a new tab. I need to go to the Dollar Tree to grab some of their clear mats, cut a new one. This is the budget reference. And the budget reference basically have notes, or will have notes. And I'm thinking these discs might be too small. We may have to change these, and I don't have expanders in that color. Oh, that's going to be a challenge. Okay. And this is from a retirement planning seminar that we attended. Um, then my commandments of planner shopping, my no excuses for like no excuses to spend money, because it's very easy. Okay. So this is missing something and I cannot figure out what. So let me go back to my current planner and go to the pages in the back. And no, oh, I took out the Outlook tab. So the budget planner comes, oh no, yeah. This is moving here. I forgot. So this all goes over here and it is a side tab. Yes, I know it's a side tab and my top tabs are my organizing thing, but this is part of budget. Um, and I think I want this with the budget tab. Let me see. Where's the budget tab? Over here somewhere, right? Yeah, at the very beginning. I kind of want this tab to be here, and there's a good reason for that, and I'll explain what I mean. So Outlook is, and I pieced that together from a bunch of different stickers. This is my zero debt declaration. I've almost been, oh my God, 20 years when I got out of a significant amount of um, personal debt. So this is going to go here. This is the wheel from this year. I'm going to leave it in here for now. I didn't finish my process because I didn't do a money day at the end of last year, which I should have. So that's one of the things I want to schedule for the month of December is a money day. Um, and then, and this might go after the affirmations, but before the month. I haven't decided yet. And then there's a wheel here. And basically, you evaluate yourself on how well you're doing in these areas. I don't know where I found this. I think I found the category somewhere, and then I built the wheel myself with a circle thing. I don't remember how I did this, but I created this for myself, and then I evaluate each category. And then what I didn't do last year was for this year was to explain why I gave myself each score. So here I'm going to write the score. I'm going to explain why I gave myself that score. I am pretty sure my score here is going to be an 8. I'll explain why. So just to give you a sense. So I'm going to give myself an 8 because I have made a budget for every single month from the beginning of the year. But I'm going to take away some points because I didn't always stick to my budget. I was very good with some categories, not so hot with others, and some others were which were affected really by the fact that there's inflation, right? So here's the monthly budget reference. So now we can start filling in those pages that I told you go somewhere else. So we're gonna go to the end here. Sorry, I'm gonna move this so that I can get to the tab easily. And here I'm gonna put the monthly budget. Goes here. And yes, I think I'm going to have to change these discs. I'm going to try to find bigger discs to fit because this is going to get tight. And the minute it starts getting tight, it gets very, wait a minute, that's not, it doesn't go on budget. I just said it goes on budget. That's bills. Um, and it's the monthly budget, but it's not. That's the bills. So, and I have to figure out how I'm going to do the back page because this is different from what I've used in the past. So I might, I don't know. I might not stick with this, is what I'm saying. So, but I like this idea of having a one pager where I can put where different bills are due in the month. Then we have savings. No, we have debt next. And in debt, I have a debt tracker. And I've already set this one up. So see, this is what I was saying. I'm going to remove this one and just add it to the pile of stuff to put away later. I'm going to put the debt tracker that has my house payment and my student loan. I don't think there are 12 lines here. She's changed that this year. So I'm just going to keep going down here when I run out of space. That's fine. For savings, I have my sinking funds that I'm going to start contributing to again. And then when it run out of space, I will go to the backside. See, I put something else here, but I decided I needed to have the whole thing there. And then a retirement one. So I'm, keeping track of my retirement. So there's that. Then trackers. This is what goes in trackers. So in the trackers, I have a pay in foreign tracker and an online order tracker. There's many more of the online order trackers because frankly, I do that a heck of a lot more than I do pay in four. Mostly because um, Afterpay decided to stop accepting my primary credit card, and I use that card for everything. And my secondary credit card is only when it's not accepted anywhere, somewhere, which is very rare these days. So next, I have some um, bottom tab. What are they called? Mock-ups, right? Because they're not really very good. They're not the real thing here. So, and I just realized that if I stick these here, they're gonna destroy my page. So I'm not gonna use them. But these were gonna be the bottom tabs, which are in the mail. So I think I'm gonna leave these alone. And I won't apply them because I don't want to destroy my paper. But just to give you a sense, and then I have bottom tabs, and I don't know why I have these, but I will figure that out at some point. So, anyway, you have seen my whole process here of setting up my home Franken planner. So I hope that was useful to you. And I have some temporary tabs because I did create tabs for myself. Oh, this doesn't go here. This goes in the back. This is what goes inside. No, that one does go there. Sorry. So I'm going to have to make some decisions because the thicker tabs definitely change the way that this is going to work. So I'm either going to trade these discs for larger discs if I have them, or I might do something else. But I really want to stick with the tabs that I have here because that way I don't have to buy new tabs. So we will see. And folks, that is it. That is how you set up a planner or a Franken planner. As I start preparing my planners for 2025 and doing my first spreads, I will do the individual planner setups. Because those are going to be very minimal. Remember, everything is going to live in a Franken planner. So I will show you that in a future video. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Come back for the last one, the last video in the series, which is enjoy, and have a great day. Bye.